Sarah, and welcome back to another episode of Talking Fast. Should we address the elephant in the room that it's been a little while? It's been a hot minute.
You and I haven't been talking to each other in this format for a couple months
Imagine
now.
if we had just not talked to each other for 2 months. It's actually only in this format. No, yeah, we took a little bit of a break. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok or anything, you'd see that I really haven't been home.
You were flying all over the place.
Flying, driving.
I feel like you were home for maybe like 7 days in the last 2 months.
Yeah. It was 8 days in the last 2 months I've been home. And also, and when you're home for those days, you then also have to be like packing or going somewhere else. So it's like not truly home, you know? So needless to say, we need to take a little break, but we have lots of stories and stuff and to talk about and catching up.
We've been up to all sorts of things.
Yeah, lots of stuff. We're going to break it all down. Like, what else? We were on a brewery tour around the corner a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's the last time I saw you, actually. But with that being said, we are still talking fast. We are still talking to you about what we eat or drink in a week. Jacob, are you looking at this bug as well that is on the table?
Bug?
Yeah, right there.
I'll just brush it off to the side.
Oh, it's still there.
Did
you kill it?
I brushed
Did
it
you
off,
kill
Sarah.
it? Did you
It's
kill
okay. I brushed it off to the floor.
Okay, anyways. Sorry, my brain's scattered. With that, what are you eating or drinking this week?
You know what? Speaking of, we did run into each other at a brewery tour. But I was also at a brewery the other night, and this is something that I've been throwing into my little routine if I'm going out for a night out. I'm tossing in a few non-alc beers.
All right.
I'm going...
Do you have like a non-alc beer preference?
You know what? In terms of what? In terms of like the
like
style?
Which, no,
I have got
brand,
a recommendation. I've got a recommendation. Burdock Brewery does a non-alc beer called Swish.
Okay.
Two H's, I think. It is very good. Listen, if I'm going out and I'm having a couple of drinks, toss in a couple of alcoholic drinks for sure. But you don't want to be waking up the next morning. It's too nice outside now.
To like not take advantage of the full day.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like be slamming 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 beers, maybe a couple, and then you mix in. You still want to be sitting out there in the sunshine.
Yeah.
Crushing something.
I think the only non-alc beers I've really ever had are the Corona ones, but they're really good.
Oh,
when you
actually,
want like
you know
the taste of a Corona, but you don't want the alcohol.
I had a soccer game a couple nights ago, and it was so nice. One of the first like really nice patio nights. It was an earlier game, and then we went out afterward, and I was like, I've got stuff to do tomorrow. I want to hang out here for a while. I crushed 2 of the non-alcoholic Coronas, and they taste the exact same.
They taste the exact same.
They're very good, and guess what? I felt amazing the next day.
I love that for you.
Yeah. What about you? What are you eating or drinking?
I was in Montreal this past weekend for one of my best friend's weddings, and we did like the bachelorette party like the couple days before. Granted, this wedding was thrown together like in like 5 months. That's why it was like a lot like faster turnaround. But with that, we did my favorite activity of the bachelorette. Gets to food. It was a tasting menu at this restaurant called Foxy. Ooh. And it was so good. Apparently, it's on the Michelin Guide for Montreal, and Montreal's got like really good food, but I don't know. I just decided that that's my favorite way to eat any food. Either a tasting menu or like family sharing style where everyone is just like paying $100 each. Then all the food on the table is for everyone. You can eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You get to try everything that the chefs actually recommend. And so I wanted to shout out one of my favorite tasting menu experiences in Toronto is at Seuss on Ossington. It's like Korean fusion food. So it's like all these places that I otherwise wouldn't know what to order because it's like, oh, like I don't, what's good? Like there's so many different options. So I think it's a tasting menu summer for me where I'm just going to go to restaurants and just like order the tasting menus because I feel like that's the best way to experience everything.
I do have a recommendation for you then. Haley and I are going in a few weeks. It's in the East End here. It's one of the best restaurants in the city for sure. You have to. Stuff sells out. It's called the Mystery Tasting. What is it called? The Mystery Patio Tasting.
Is this the place you've been to before? Lake Ness.
Oh,
okay, it's on my list.
It's on my list. It's so good. But like the reservations, they release them a couple weeks before the next month.
Yeah.
They sell out in 2 minutes.
Oh my
for
God.
the entire month.
Why are we becoming New York that way?
It's so good though. Speaking of tasting menus and like it's a whole experience.
It's just my favorite, and like I just think in a group setting like that, it is so much easier.
If you have a lot of people,
it's so easy.
You know, you go to a restaurant and you're just like, oh, everything on the menu looks so good, but I'm just only going to order a couple things. Yeah, if you get a good group of people that are also into that,
family style sharing, it's the best.
Yeah, Sarah, what are we watching this week?
Well, Jacob, we actually have the same What Are We Watching This Week because we are so happy to be partnering with Hey You to talk about Love Island UK.
I am actually hooked on Love Island UK. Haley got me into this. And actually, fun tidbit, a good friend of mine wrote the theme song.
Oh my God, it is a fun tidbit. Wait, I forgot about that connection.
I know.
That's deep lore.
Yeah, so I'm like deeply connected to Love Island.
I love that. Well, Love Island UK is like the OG, right? So like one of my best friends, Kayla, has been watching forever. And for literal years, she's been like, look, you're a reality TV girl. I'm not, and I'm obsessed with this show. So you have to get into it. And it took me a while because when you're committing to a new reality show, it's sometimes like, I don't know. But Hey You makes it really easy because they have like all the seasons, everything there. So I committed to Love Island UK. 1, so messy. 2, so dramatic. 3, everything relationship-y just makes like a show that much better. They're in warm destinations.
4 accents.
So I was gonna say accents makes it even accents, better. Honestly. I think through Love Island UK, actually, I'm able to differentiate accents in England now. Like, okay, I don't think
Haley
I could
says the
before.
Same thing actually, because she's
I know now.
Oh, that's a Scouse accent.
That's
or
a
something,
Sussex
or
accent. That's Manchester. No, truly, like watching Love Island UK is how I can do that. But the best part is you can like binge it all. You can go back, watch all the episodes. But also to watch Love Island UK, you don't need a VPN if you watch on EU.
Yes. And so when Haley was getting me into this, you know the trope of like, you see these memes online all the time where it's just like the girlfriend is watching reality TV, they've got Love Island UK on, and then the boyfriend's kind of in the background and he's like, he sits down eventually. That's I hated those memes for a while.
Yeah, until you became
think in the back of my head, because I realized that I was actually that guy.
Until you became that guy.
I don't like myself like think that I actually become a meme, but it's true. I have to sit down and I get into it. I do throw out an accent myself every now and then. I think that that's maybe the downfall for me, is that I sit there and I just get so into it that I think, yeah, I could be that.
Do you think you could go on a show like Love Island UK?
I don't know. I feel like
obviously you're single and like whatever, but like
I do like the challenges that they've got in there that like kind of break up the in between of the romance drama and whatnot. I think that'd be. I think that
my issue is I would fun. Thrive in like the competition aspect of it, but
I think I would also get caught up in like the banter of it all too. Like I'd be a big couch surfer. I'd just be on the couch. Babes, what's up? What's wrong, babes?
You know what? We should plant you on Love Island UK with your fake accent to see if anyone catches you.
No one would know for sure.
Nobody would know. But if you want to get in on all the fun and also get watching Love Island UK, you can stream it on Hey You. They have new episodes dropping daily. Okay, Jacob, what are you listening to?
I'm excited, Sarah, because we haven't recorded in like 2 months. How many new musicians do you think I've listened to?
Also, it is summer, so it's like your songs of summer is like bumping.
I'm actually, here's the thing, I have to get tickets to the show still, but I think that this, you know when I got role model tickets last year, and like then it became impossible to get role model tickets, I think this is going to happen again with this artist CMAT, which are just her initials, CMAT.
Okay.
Her name is Sierra, I believe. She's like an Irish redhead who is producing some of the best like pop rock music out there. I am kind of, my thing in the back of my head, I'm just like, she's like Chappell Roan, but if Chappell Roan had opinions, you know, Chappell Roan was like, oh, I don't have to have an opinion on politics, I'm just a musician. CMAT is just like no filters, great personality, some of the best interviews I've seen from any artist recently.
So when is she coming to Toronto?
She's coming to Toronto in September, I believe. Okay. I think like the middle of September, playing a venue I forget, but I'm going to go to that. Oh, she's playing the concert hall, I believe.
Oh, small venue.
Yeah. Yes, well, relatively
this is a small artist.
So.
Oh my God.
She's coming out with a new album though. I think her album drops at the end of August called, I'm blanking on the name of it, but please go and stream CMAT. Everything that CMAT has.
We need to do a deep dive into the analytics somehow of like you mentioning like a new artist that nobody's heard of, and by nobody I mean me, and then if people actually go and then like if they see a little spike on the day that the episode drops.
The Jacob bump?
If they get the Jacob bump, I'd love to know.
The Talking Fast bump?
The Talking Fast bump.
I think so. Sarah, what are you listening to this week?
Well, very like UK vibes. I am listening to Oasis because that concert, even though we bought these tickets like a year and a half ago, it is creeping up very quickly. So I'm going to Europe with a bunch of my friends, but we're ending off in London at Wembley Stadium to see Oasis.
That's going to be crazy.
No, it's going to be crazy, but I also am very aware that I might actually get like a pint of piss thrown at me because they do that at these shows apparently. My saving grace though is that like all the people that would have done that are now like in their 40s.
Wait, who? Like the audience members?
Yeah. People like piss in cups and they throw it backwards because they don't want to lose their spot on the floor.
Maybe get ahead of that and just like...
No, I'm going to bring a poncho.
Bring your piss cup.
So, well, it's like your beer cup becomes your piss cup. Anyways.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm going to do. I know, but it's a thing.
Why not just put it on the ground?
No, I don't know why, because they don't think about the people behind them. They just throw it. I've just
That's
been warned that this
wild.
is a thing, and I need to be prepared for it. That's what I'm stressed about. Not about not knowing the words, not about like the transit system. I'm stressed about being thrown somebody's pee at me. Anyways.
Interesting. Have you checked out any of the? They've played a couple of shows already, right?
No, they haven't.
Haven't they played a couple of practice shows?
No, okay, that was leaked information. They were rehearsing and they did like a fake like leak. No, they have not. I need to wait till I know the set list, but the set list will be out a couple weeks because like my show is like not the first one.
What song are you hoping to hear? Obviously, they're gonna play the hits, but like, which song do you want to hear the most? I mean, my favorite song, like one of my favorite songs ever is "Don't Look Back in Anger," but they're obviously gonna play that. So it's like, and like that would be mine too.
My take too, though, is that I think they're gonna bury Wonderwall in the middle of the set, like not let it have its like moment. They're just gonna be like, we'll play this, and just like bury it in the middle.
Yeah, but I think that if they have enough massive hits that they could open with one, they could have them throughout, and you could have them
Supersonic. I'm really excited to hear, and I think I want to make on my Cricut a shirt that says "Give me gin and tonic."
Oh,
do you know the lyric?
I'm not a big lyric guy, but hell yeah.
Give me gin and tonic. I would listen to nothing but Oasis on the drive home from Montreal because I have all the songs I need to learn.
Also, shout out to the Rogers Stadium, which is actually looking decent now.
Yes, I'm also going to that show, and Cage the Elephant is opening, which is sick. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at any
Cigarette
of the openers,
Daydreams? Are you
actually.
kidding me?
I gotta check out the openers for these shows.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Interesting.
Anyways,
Sarah, what is something you did this week?
I crossed off the first thing on my 30 before 30.
Yeah, wait, give
list.
us. I don't know if this audience has it because if they haven't seen your video, what are you
I'm gonna
doing
give a little
for
bit of
your
context.
30th?
I made a list of things I want to do in the next year, like my last year of my 20s, so my 29 until 30. For context, it's 29. Things that I might have done before, or I want to do again. Like one of the things I want to do is go horseback riding. I'm actually going horseback riding tomorrow. I haven't done it since I was a kid, so like I put it on my list of my like last year of my 20s, like things I want to make sure I do. And one of those things was be a bridesmaid. So my first official thing checked off my 30 before 30 list is be a bridesmaid. I was a bridesmaid in Kate's wedding.
Ooh, this is good, and this is actually all about what the episode is.
I'll tell a lot more anecdotes in the next part of the episode. But it was such a fun day. Look, is this a hot take that I think people complain too much about being a bridesmaid?
Yeah. No, well,
but I also didn't have a bridezilla. Like, she was great. So, like, I don't know if, like, maybe that would change my opinion, but I really enjoyed it. The thing is, I'm built for this. I'm built to be a bridesmaid. I love planning parties. I love socializing. I love getting dressed up and taking photos and doing videos and stuff. I'm organized. So it's literally like I'm built for this. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, because there's the bridesmaid Venn diagram of like dependable and organized and likes to party. You want that intersection.
Yes, right? I was quite literally the last one on the dance floor, and I kept saying to everyone, they're like, "Aren't you gonna go home soon?" I go, "I'm the bridesmaid. I have to stay. And I literally kept going to the DJ. One more song. I think I did it 7 times. The guy ended up playing past 2. I go, one more.
There's a whole
song,
album worth of
essentially. It was crazy. Anyways, I had so much fun, and I just think, I don't know. I feel like people, like when you're my age, they're like, "Oh my god, just you wait. You're gonna be a bridesmaid. Sometime. You're gonna do this, that," and I enjoyed it. It was fun, and I will happily do it again. I'm gonna do it at least 2 more times the next year. But then more people keep getting engaged, so who knows? But yeah, it was lots of fun. Lots of fun. Anyways, what's something that you did?
Sarah, and you probably did this too, but it's marathon season again. We're almost 16 weeks to the day.
I know, I'm not prepared
of the Toronto Waterfront Marathon, which we are both participating in this year, and I'm excited. I'm going into this. I started my marathon blog. That's what I did this week. I'm going into this with such a good base right now. Can I just say it makes me feel
so much better that you also just started yours this week?
Yeah, you should like the real training starts now.
Yeah, where like I have to be way more diligent. Yes.
What I am also, and
I've
then
been
I looked
really
at it and I
flexed.
was just like, I ran more in the spring up until like today, basically, than I did last year. So I'm like, I'm already starting at a better spot.
I'm in the same boat. I ran a lot more. I've ran way more than even my half marathon training than I ever did. All of that, so I feel a lot better.
And I'm getting excited for it because now that the weather's nice, people are all outside, everyone's out there running, everyone's giving each other kudos on Strava, and because I did New York last year, that was like a really fun life experience because it was traveling and it was doing this really big, one of the major races. But now I'm getting excited because it's like a hometown race. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a good
it's
time.
terrifying because it's hometown. I will say what I do like about it is like I get to sleep in my own bed, do all of it for my first one.
That
and also
is a game changer.
like what I need to do is like plan out my own electrolyte / water system based on people.
Yeah.
So I will literally assign people like kilometers to meet me at so that I can have like full blown.
Yesterday about this, and she's just like, I can be the West End one for like.
Okay, great. If I can give Emma a
bottle
of Gatorade, I know she would. Yeah. So I need to like find people that will be watching and then like place them around the city.
Yeah.
I've also accepted the fact like that if I need to walk, I can like walk 100%. At any point. I think like in my head, my ego's been like, you can't, but I can. Like Nolan walked and he still killed it. It's just different.
Finishing.
That's all I care. And not dying because people like collapse in the last couple kilometers. So
people die sometimes.
No, I know. So my whole goal is just finishing it.
Amazing.
So, are you trying to go for a time goal though?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're trying to like crush sub 3:30, right?
I would love to do 3:20.
That's fucking. I'm gonna be finishing like over, not 2 hours. That's dramatic. Over an hour and a bit later.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's impressive. That's just still super impressive.
We'll see.
Everyone's running their own race,
That's true. Okay, finally, what is something that you're loving?
Sarah, speaking of the weather being nice, you know what I'm loving right now? I'm loving chit-chatting.
I can tell because we've gone really overtime on this opening segment.
We have been. I've been chit-chatting. That's what my new favorite hobby right now. I'm just taking Brooklyn on walks around the neighborhood, chit-chatting to all the people that are just like living their life out there.
Is this you like in the most respectful way possible? Is this part of aging though, that you just like want to chit-chat with everyone in the neighborhood? Is
chit-chatting part of aging?
No, I just think about like the people that
like taking your garbage out, eh?
No, 100%. Like think of all like the people that you know from like growing up.
Maybe it is. But I also think like I'm trying to do this also because like I've lived in my neighborhood for over 5-6 years now, and I'm like, I don't really know a lot of these people.
That's
but
true.
I see them all over the place now, so I'm just gonna say hi more often now.
That's true. I like that though.
Yeah, making friends in your community. Sarah, what are you loving this week?
Another thing to go on brand with our episode today is I mentioned earlier we threw Kate a 1-day bachelorette party, and I think
I like this.
This needs to be brought back. We didn't do it the day before. We did it a few days before. She was getting married on a Sunday, so we did it the Friday night. And I feel like I did the same amount of stuff that I've done on other bachelorette parties where it's like a whole weekend. Because when you do a whole weekend, you really just do like one thing a day, like one like key thing. Whereas this, like literally we just jam-packed today. It was so much fun. We did it in our apartment. We had a sleepover. Like everything just felt like we didn't feel like we missed out on anything, and she didn't, most importantly, feel like she missed out on not having a full weekend.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. And then it was like if we had to do any last minute stuff, we could help her with it then. But it was so great. And Montreal's a great city to do that in. So we were like listing off cities that you could do 1-day batches, and that would be like really fun. And we're like Toronto, Montreal, you could do it in Calgary, I think, Halifax, like these places where you just fill the day. Then you're also, for time commitment wise, you're only asking people to commit 1 day.
It's also money. Like how many restaurants do you need to go to? You know
well,
what I mean?
and like accommodations and stuff really 100%. Is what gets expensive. So for this, like, if you want the itinerary, we literally like we woke up, kicked Kate out of the apartment while she got a spray tan, we decorated the entire place, and like we just did it really cheap. We ordered everything off of Temu, and then we like decorated it, had like a mimosa bar, and we brought in a guy to do permanent bracelets. So we all got friendship bracelets, like permanent bracelets, and then we played some of her favorite games. And then by that time, oh my god, it's already time to get ready for cocktails. Then we went to a cocktail bar, then we went to dinner and did the tasting menu. We were at the tasting menu for like almost 4 hours. Like we were there for so long because we were just having so much fun. Then we popped into the bar that the groom and some of like the guests were like at. We just went, had a shot with them, then we went back and had a night filled of games that we had done, like Jeopardy, and like we asked the groom questions and stuff like that. And then we like just chatted into night, and we were in bed by midnight. It was incredible. Honestly,
that's
I'm
the
like,
way to do it.
In your 30s, this is the way. I'm not 30 yet, but everyone else is. So it's like in your 30s, that's the way to do it.
Also, is that a hot tip? Ordering bachelorette items off of Temu?
Oh my god, I literally the same stuff on Amazon. I did the math. It would have cost me $800 for all the decorations on Amazon, and it cost me $100 on Temu.
How did it ship fast?
Yes, and everything is the exact same because it's all from the same drop shipping companies. Just use a fake email because Temu did have a cybersecurity issue like a few months ago. So just use like not your real email and something like that. But that's a hot tip.
We're going to be partnering with Temu on that. Nice. Okay.
A topic so nice, we're talking about it twice.
A lot of this stuff blew up about weddings, Sarah.
I think it's because we're pretty takey as two non-married people.
Yeah.
Like truly. But you guys loved the wedding episode, and we are going to be doing more of these just like pocket episodes that are just based around one topic. I just called it a pocket episode. That's not what it's called.
I'm a bottle episode.
A bottle episode. That's what I meant to say. So if you have any ideas of just one topic you want us to dive into, because we know we do voicemail and stuff, but that's so general that if you're like, no, just weddings, no, just friendships, just breakups, whatever, that's what we're going to focus on.
I want to talk about roommates.
Oh, we can do a whole roommate episode. I have a lore for roommates.
On there.
So to start though, we're doing weddings part 2 because it's wedding season. Literally, even I was at a wedding this weekend, but then also on Instagram, I swear every other person I knew on the planet was at a wedding or a bridal shower or something. So we have a few questions we're gonna go over, but then we also have some questions and comments submitted by you guys as well through the Instagram. So
Sarah, I do have a quick one to start with because you already kind of mentioned this in the opening that you drove to Montreal for this recent wedding that you went to. And I know that a big reason why you drove there is because you brought your Cricut with you.
Yes.
And one of the questions that we did have on this was, is a Cricut worth it for a wedding in general? Like everything DIY.
If you are someone with patience and crafty, and yes, I think
patience?
It is. Oh my!
What is it? Print out slow or whatever?
No.
Or cut it.
So for those that don't know, a Cricut is a cutting machine. Not to be confused with a printer, because people think it's a printer. It's not. It's a cutting machine. So it cuts out vinyl. So the way, like any of those signs on mirrors or anything you see that's like cut out of wood, like that's a Cricut that probably did it. Or when people like get custom glassware or tumblers or those things, all of that is vinyl from a Cricut. So a lot of brides get one because it's, if you're wanting to save costs, it is way cheaper and you have way more flexibility. Well, I mean, like I got the really expensive one, but I got it on Boxing Day and I think I paid $400 for it. I don't know how much a Cricut is.
Like $3,000 or something.
No. I think all in, buying all the tools, all the stuff, whatever, it was like $600, $700 for everything.
It's not bad because if you're gonna do custom stuff, it's gonna cost
100%. And for someone like me that throws parties all the time and like does custom things, it's worth it. But also you're gonna be paying somebody else, like you people on Etsy and stuff that are selling these custom things. I don't think you're charging enough, to be completely honest, because if I was invoicing my friends, I would have charged them $30,000 for all the work I did. Just because time, no, it's just like the time takes forever. They were so great, like grateful. I got a shout out. My Cricut got a shout out in their thank you speech at the wedding. So we did like these the thing that took the longest was we did these bows that wrapped around everyone's menus, and it had everyone's name on it. So we had to individually cut out every single person's name, 97.
Ooh, that's a
and
lot of cutting. We
pressed them with like the little Cricut mini press. I did the mirror for them, so it's like the mirror that says like welcome to the wedding. The reason I'm saying tedious is their wedding font was very thin, so the letter G kept ripping, and it took me an hour to like hand individually put the G on.
Maybe a hot tip if you're gonna do a wedding,
get a thicker font. We had like a donut sign that said "Holy Matrimony," and so that was Cricut vinyl. So there was tons of things at this wedding that were done through the Cricut. So I would say yes. If you don't have a friend that's willing to help, if you don't have a friend that's willing to help you out.
You also brought this and started doing it 2 days before the wedding, right? Like,
well, no, I had done most of this stuff before. Like I spent 7 hours with Kate at her aunt's kitchen table doing the ribbons. Like that was when she was in the city. And then the cutting out of other things. Yes. Like the mirror thing I'd already designed, so I didn't have the mirror, so I had to wait till I was
almost
there.
Like the opposite. If you do have a Cricut and a few of your friends start getting engaged, maybe start posting about it less on social media. If
so
you
they don't ask you to.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, for me, like, so as an example, like if I was getting married and I was like wanting to do a bunch of the stuff myself, the thing I like about it is you can just like, while you're watching TV, rerunning the machine and doing it. Like it's a very like just tedious task. And if you do think you're going to use it again, I also think it's worth it. But for everything, bachelorette party, whatever, any of those customizable things that you see at a wedding, a Cricut usually can use it for. So I would say it's worth it if you plan on having a lot of that.
Okay, you also said 90 guests were at this wedding. In my mind, that seems like a decent amount. That's like a lot, but it's not too many. I've been at weddings recently that are like 200-300 people, which is a crazy amount. One of the other questions we got is around where you draw the line for those obligatory, or maybe not, plus ones to a wedding. What do we think? What's a good number of guests? I mean, that may vary for everyone.
I think a good number of guests varies for people, but I don't think you should
feel
obligated to invite anyone. And
I would borderline say you don't feel obligated to invite anyone. Even like extended family if you're not close with them.
No, 100% not. And if there's, so one of my friends is getting married, and I was asking her about this. I was like, how is it going with you? How are you drawing this line? And she was saying that her like mother-in-law really wanted like a couple of her best girlfriends to come. Right. And then, so my friend goes, great. Here's the invoice for how much the table is going to cost. And she just told her exactly how much per head she's going to cost. And the mother-in-law was like, great, yep, I'll pay for that.
No, but you know what? I wouldn't even open it up to that because it's just like, I don't want weirdos at my wedding.
I don't think they're weirdos. It's just like.
No, but they can be a vibe killer if it's like an aunt's best friend.
I don't think you should feel obligated to invite anybody. Plus ones, I don't think there's an expectation that everyone gets a plus one anymore. I do think that's shifted.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I'm going to a wedding this at the end of August. I literally just forgot about that wedding until it just popped in my brain right now. I'm going to a wedding at the end of August that I don't have a plus one for, but it's just because like it's a really small wedding and like it's all my old work colleagues, so it's like I don't need to go with
that's
Nolan
the same thing. I
like,
have an invite for that just came, and it's the same thing. It's like we're on a soccer team. And
is it in the city? That's the only reason I think it's really easy.
It's further.
Oh, that
but
stuff then.
It's on the GO train line, so
then you're fine.
Easy.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, it's in the city, so I'm like, okay, like that's just like me going out on a Friday night and Nolan's at
but
home.
I think
like, it doesn't matter.
Guests like that are circumstantial. I wouldn't say the expectation is always to have a plus one for some of those weddings where it's just like if you're being invited as a collective group that you know this person through something else.
Exactly.
Soccer team, you name it.
Like improv, like if I got invited to someone from like improv's like wedding, and because I see them every week and I do all these things with them, like my partner does not know them, I would not feel like weird if I never got a plus one or something like that. I will
say if there's no plus one to a destination wedding, that's a slap in the face.
No, that's also stupid because it's like if you're both willing to pay to fly there, then like let them do it.
100%.
What do you think though is the line for like I know my single friends used to get really insecure about this, about like but what if you get a partner? What if they get like, you know what I mean? Like, because some people send out their wedding save dates and stuff so early.
Yeah, there should almost be like a
like you can rejig it.
Like, hey, did anyone break up or did anyone get?
As somebody that used to work in wedding banquet halls, I was a server. They can change the numbers up to like if the bride's being like, oh, no, we're not going to know. Like they can change it up to like 48 hours in advance.
Yeah.
Maybe even 24 sometimes depending on the venue. So like say like you got invited to a wedding and you're single and the wedding's not for another like year and a bit, and then like literally you meet the love of your life and you start dating, they have time to add them.
And it can go the other way too. This
if they break up.
This happened to me. I went through a breakup after my ex had been invited to the wedding party. Oh. Can I say this?
Was it your friends though?
My brother. Yeah, it was my brother.
Oh my God.
My brother and sister-in-law, their wedding. Wait. My ex was invited to be in the wedding party, and then we broke up like 7 months after that.
After the wedding?
No, after they engaged, and then they gave out all like the it's not an invitation to be in the wedding party. What's that called? I don't know. We were all asked to be in the wedding party, and then you know what? Circumstances happen, and you go through a breakup, and all of a sudden,
but that's pretty like that's pretty like obvious, though. I'm pretty sure when you broke up, she knew. Well,
all I mean though is just like if
so
it
much
can
stuff
go
can
to
change.
if it can happen to the wedding party, change that much. It can happen to the random guests that
100%.
You're talking to, yeah. And if it's the difference between like someone coming and you paying for their seat, or them not showing up and you still paying for their seat, you know what? Save a little bit of money. Just do a little second RSVP.
Maybe it's because I just know myself and I know I'm someone that will have a big wedding. And I know they're expensive and stuff, but if someone like really, really is like super interested in your wedding and like wants to be there to love and support you, and they were maybe a bubble person, but they're showing you a lot of interest and asking you a lot about it and like really like care about you, and like, you're like, oh, okay, like just fucking toss them an invite.
100%, because that's a good vibe for your wedding.
It's a good vibe. You want good vibe people. You don't want the people that are
like close
oh,
friends who be like, yeah, I'm going to that for sure. Yeah, we're good friends.
Exactly. I feel like just like that literally happened at the wedding I was at this week. The groom had gone for drinks with like a buddy, and he was like definitely like I think like a bubble person, and then he was so like, oh oh my God, I'm so excited. Like, so excited for you. Your wedding's next week. And then the groom texts the bride and goes, can we just invite him? Like his energy is so good. And then they were just like, do you want to come? And he felt no like ego, but was like, last minute, doesn't care. He's like, yeah, I'll be there. Of course. Great vibe.
Hey, PSA, if you know me peripherally and you want to invite me to your wedding, or if you want to invite us to your wedding, we'll come.
We could do a live podcast at cocktail hour.
Yeah. Oh my God. We should MC someone's wedding.
Yes, we should MC someone's wedding.
That'd be so good. Okay, this leads into one of the other questions that we got, and it is on the topic of wedding parties. People getting upset that they're maybe left out of a wedding party, or maybe, speaking of obligations around weddings, giving someone the wedding party title if they don't really deserve it. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, I feel like those are two very different things. Do you mean like if they don't deserve it in the sense of like,
well, like say you have a group of like 3 really close girlfriends, and there's like, you often hang out with 2 other girls who maybe think, oh, there's a chance that I'm going to be a bridesmaid.
Okay. This is the one thing I've learned through being well, one's done. And then I'm in 2 other bridal parties right now. And then there's another wedding that I'm like going to like the bachelorette party, but I'm not a bridesmaid. Communication is the only thing that matters. And if you are not like an adult enough to be able to have like open communication with people that, like about where you're at or why you're making a decision, then like, what are we doing? I really think that's like the situations that have been the best in what I've been doing so far is not the like, oh, she's gonna be so mad at me, or oh, like just like talking to people openly and honestly about it. I think some people think bridal parties are dumb. Some people like them. Everyone's got their own taste. I think after this weekend, I realized that why they're important. Like truly, like you just are like helping the bride, like make sure everything. There was like an issue with the dress, and we were like doing it to make sure she, you know, like I understand the point of what they're there for now. Truly, it's not just for photos. Like I think people are like, whatever, it's just for photos. It's not. Yeah. It's like truly, like it's the people that you like. It's the people that you want around you that will help keep your energy calm and keep the energy good, and the people that you love and care about, and that will help you have the best day possible, right? And so I just think, like, again, going back to obligations, if there's any person that there's any doubt that they're going to make you feel absolutely the most wonderful, beautiful version of yourself, then like absolutely no, cut, whatever. And then 2, I just think we shouldn't take it that like seriously. Like my friend who's like, I'm not a bridesmaid, but I'm going to her bachelorette party still because I love her and like support her. And if she ever needed anything, I would obviously do it for her. Just because I'm not a bridesmaid, it doesn't mean that I think she loves me any less. I was gonna ask this.
What do you think about bachelor or bachelorette party inviting people who are not part of the wedding
that
party?
Happened. I mean, Julia's bachelorette party was like non-bridal party and bridal party.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like that's pretty common.
It's pretty common now, I think, because people have smaller bridal parties now.
Yeah.
So the bachelorette party that I just threw was the bridesmaids, and then like anybody else that was in the city that could come.
Yeah.
Why? What do you think? I feel like men, it's so different. I feel like men don't get all like caught up in the same stuff.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And I think the women, it's like, we've talked about it, you think about it, you're like, I think people see it as such a status symbol and like where they stand with their friends.
I also think for a guy, I think the best man is like so far away from other groomsmen.
Yeah.
The best man is like S tier, and then groomsmen are like D tier in general. So like D tier groomsmen and some other friend who's not part of the wedding party. That was so funny
because when we were like getting ready, like we were doing the rehearsal, and we said to the groomsmen, I'm like, oh, so like I mentioned something that was happening. They're like, well, we haven't talked about that. I go, oh, we had it at our pre-rehearsal meeting that we had, or like,
yeah,
it's just
I don't know
such
how
a
many
different
meetings
experience.
Are happening. Yeah.
I just don't. Okay, like again, I think people need to go back and listen. We need to bring Tori back on the podcast and have a whole episode about this, because I reference it so often. Our tiered friendships. I think the reason people get so insecure about wedding parties and stuff is because it exposes your tier of friendships.
Yeah.
And if you're somebody that is not mutual, and this is the thing, the tiers don't have to be mutual. I might see somebody as like a closer friend to me than they do, vice versa. But the issue is, I think people see weddings and they see it as something that exposes the tiers of friendship. There's also other ways to involve people and not have them in a bridal party. emceeing is a way to do it. In this wedding, Kate had her sister-in-law officiate the wedding. So she still wore a black dress and then took photos with us and did stuff, but she wasn't a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
So, and then they had other friends do readings during the ceremony. So there was other ways to incorporate people if you still want other people you love to be involved. But I just don't think we should like think that dictates our level of friendship. 100%. I'm just saying that, but then also I haven't hit it with like my closest friends yet, so I don't know.
I think that I got another question for you. I think that this is maybe more suited to like bridesmaids and the bride's decision. But like, what are your thoughts on bridesmaid dresses? I know that there's two schools of thought, really. One, everyone wears the same dress.
I don't think people do that anymore, do they? Does everyone wear the same dress still?
I haven't been to last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't been to a wedding where everyone's wore the same dress. It's always now, I think, color different dresses. I think in the year 2025, we're aware that like what looks good on my body won't necessarily look good on somebody else's body, and like everyone just wants to look and feel the best. I think that's the best way to do it. Because then people can also pick based off their price point what they think is the best. Like Kate's was just black dresses, literally nothing better than that.
What do you think about hair and makeup? Wedding day, you're getting ready. Does the bride pay for the bridesmaids, or does everyone cover their own costs for hair and makeup?
So I am in multiple weddings, and so the most recent wedding I was in, bride covered our hair and makeup. The other ones that I'm in, they are not. Here is my personal humble opinion. I think you don't need to get, despite what Instagram and everything tells you, you don't need to buy your friends these elaborate gifts to ask them to be your bridesmaid and the box and all these things.
I was talking about this yesterday.
If you're not going to pay for their hair and makeup. Like, this is the thing. If I give you this box of all of these things and I go, Chica, please be in my bridal party.
You would rather.
I would rather you pay for the hard costs of the hair and makeup that you were expecting me to have on your wedding day. Or if there's certain shoes you need me to wear. Like, I'm already paying for like a dress and other things.
Same thing. If there's a tie for a groomsman,
just make that what you
buy the tie for everyone. I don't need cigars and the cigar clipper.
And like look, some people like I love doing little things like that for people, but then I also would pay for the hair and makeup because I would never expect people to, I don't know, come and like be a part of it and get ready and not. So I think what we need to do is remove the like big proposal things and just pay for the hair and makeup instead. Like that's like what Kate's gift was to us. That should be the standard. Or you can do both. You can do both, but I don't think you can do like the big box and all the things without covering the hair and makeup. And like, look, I just think it's like practical costs. Like that's or it's a practical cost that you can cover. Or if you're doing a destination, you're like, oh, we're going to cover one night in the villa or like whatever.
I feel like that's so fair because I feel like a lot of people also do their makeup so differently and maybe they don't want a full on glam or something. And it's like, what, you're going to be like, just give me a natural little tiny touch up for 5 minutes. You're going to spend the whole fee.
Yeah. I just have never understood when you do one, not the other. Because I look at these things, I'm like, sometimes you're spending like hundreds of dollars on this and it would have cost the same as doing their hair and makeup. So I think that's what you should do. I do think if you are getting professional hair and makeup for your bridesmaids, you should be paying for it. That's my opinion. But I know it's expensive, so then just don't offer it. Then just like, everyone goes out. Everyone has a YouTube now. They can all figure out a tutorial themselves.
Okay, Sarah, wedding speeches. Do you think that you like them on the longer side or do you want them on the shorter side?
I mean, I just gave one. I actually think I gave the longest speech there. Ooh,
how long
I hate that for myself. Actually, I have no idea, but it was two of us giving it. So we got not quite double the time, but we were longer.
What are we talking though? What were you told to keep it to?
I was supposed to keep it to 5. I think it was like 6 and a half.
I give a 15-minute speech.
Bro, what?
I know, yeah.
I mean, I was like jazzing it up and going off script a little bit because my speech was the last speech of the night and I had like 3 espresso martinis at that point. So I was really going off script. Maybe it was 7 minutes. I don't know. It wasn't that long.
Speeches during dinner or speeches another time?
Broken up, but throughout the courses is how this wedding was done.
Okay, I like that.
I liked it. So after each course, after the main is when we spoke, or like during the end of the main is when we spoke, and then the dance floor opened after.
I like that.
So that was good. But yeah, I think they should be shorter. What I do like what people do, I've seen them at like the welcome party or rehearsal dinner do a lot of the speeches.
I would rather get them out of the way and then maybe just do 2 speeches.
Oh, I mean, there was like almost no speeches. It was like the best man, like the brother of.
You know what? 4 speeches. I would say 4 speeches.
No parents spoke at this wedding.
Oh, I was going to say you could do parents or family member, loved one, and then maybe if you have best man, maid of honor. So
she didn't have a maid of honor. So for us, it was like 2 bridesmaids, one of her childhood friends from Montreal, and then I represented like Toronto life. Okay. So it was like we went back and forth. I like that. I also like having another person to do it with because you can like go back and forth and like my producer brain was like we structured it.
Okay, really I did like that because I was at a wedding last year and there were 2 MCs and it was kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's great.
Like the couple knew them. They had slightly different relationships with them, but they all knew each other enough that it was a good one too. And then it's
also like, I'm going to be real with what happened with the speech. Like the other bridesmaid, she was like so sweet and sentimental, and then I just was cracking jokes the whole time. So it was like a really good mix where you got like a little bit of everything in both. So yeah, make people go up in duos. It honestly like made it, and also so you don't notice if it's longer because there's two different people talking. But I also think it's like you're there and it's all these people you love. Like I don't mind speeches. I think it's annoying when people are like, so many speeches, blah, blah, blah.
Totally.
Oh, this was a hot take that we got in the DMs, and it was from a friend of mine whose wedding I attended. It said, hot take, people who are mad they aren't in your wedding party aren't your real friends. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. I think if you need to look inward if you're so mad.
That says everything about you, and I says nothing about me.
Yeah. Or it says something about our, like, if it's the reverse, like say like you thought you were going to be like my maid of honor or whatever, then.
Which, Sarah, by the way, I do. Do
I think that would actually be a slay and you'd be organized as hell and it'd be incredible? Yes. Everyone would be like, wait, do you have other friends? You make him co-host your podcast with you and he's your manager? No, but then maybe it's just us. And if it's the reverse, and if I felt upset, or like, so you felt upset that I didn't make you maid of honor or bridesmaid, then yeah, maybe it's just like, okay, wait, maybe I do have to reevaluate but I don't think there's any reason to get like angry.
If you're getting angry, I would say go sign up for therapy.
Or
honestly.
I thought you were going to say go sign up for a run.
Maybe a run as well. I think that's wild.
I think it's a lot easier said than done. I understand friendship dynamics are really complicated, but I just don't understand why there's also any point to get angry. My sister had a great take because she was like a bubble pick for being a bridesmaid for a friend of hers wedding, and she didn't get picked as a bridesmaid, and she actually was like, it was the biggest sigh of relief ever because the wedding's like in Nashville and she just wanted to be able to go and like drink and party with her friends. And as like when you are a bridesmaid, your whole day is like gone.
Wait, when you say she was a bubble pick,
like
do you
she
mean
knew
like
she was
there was like
the
a bridesmaid draft board and she was like bumped to the second round?
Yeah, she was second round. She didn't get to go to the draft.
Well, I think like speaking of communication, don't leave people on a bubble. I would say like make that decision pretty quickly. Let people know where they stand.
Also, don't like float the idea by people either.
Yeah.
A friend of mine did this, and she knows who she is. Don't float it by people being like, hey, like, you wouldn't want to be in my wedding party, would you? Because then if Jacob goes, my God, yes, I'd be honored. Then guess what?
I got floated as best man like a week before a wedding.
As a week? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Were you already a groomsman?
Well, there was no wedding party at all, and then I ended up doing a last minute speech, and it was there were butterflies in my stomach.
That's crazy. Floated by best man the week before the wedding is insane.
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know. Just no getting, but don't float either. That just makes it weird. Float. Good communication is all that's important. It's your decision. You get to make whatever you want, but you just have to be able to have hard conversations and talk about it if you are leaving somebody out, which is fair. That's never going to happen. You can't have like 30 bridesmaids or groomsmen.
That'd be your whole wedding.
Nolan got invited on a bachelor party that is 29 dudes going on it.
That's way too many.
I go, that's like half the wedding. And he goes, the guy goes, that's my short list.
What kind of guy has 29
I
friends?
don't know. I don't know. But I was like, I'm sorry. What? 29 guys going to Montreal.
Damn.
I'm like, that's a wedding.
That's a small army.
Like,
literally, it could be dangerous.
Literally, if we're going to World War III, that's the draft class.
If they go into like a medium-sized bar, they will get the fire code called.
I'm like, how are you going to find
at capacity?
How are you going to find a place? Like, you need 15 hotel rooms.
Yeah, they need 2 floors.
100%.
I have another one, Sarah. Okay, food at weddings.
Yeah.
What's the best style of food? We have like a prefix menu. We have the buffet style. The lines go up and get your food. We have the family style. Out of those 3, how would you rank them?
I've been to all 3 and I've served all 3. Buffets at the bottom.
Buffets definitely at the bottom.
As somebody that used to set up that food, it's sitting there a long time.
Yeah. If it sucks for the tables that are at the back.
Yes. Because then everyone else is done eating. No, it's insane. Also,
Yeah.
with how much you're paying for these like venues, like you have a server serve them their food. Like it's part of it. Totally. And also you get to control the timing of the night way more when it's service, like when it's not buffet style.
If you're buffet style and you have a big wedding, you have a situation where there are people done having like their third drink and are ready to dance,
and then people haven't even ate yet.
People getting their food, and that vibe is so weird at a wedding. It's the worst.
I will say the only exception to like the buffet style that I went to at a wedding that was really cool was they had food stations, and it was food from all the countries they'd traveled to. So that was cool because it was a more like low-key vibe. Like it wasn't like a formal sit-down like wedding kind of dinner, but that was like my exception. But buffets at the bottom. Then I would say they can family style or like pre-done prefix menu switches depending on where it is
and what style of food maybe.
And what style of food it is.
Like, I like family style because you have the option of like how much you want to eat, and if there's something that's really good on the menu, you're like, let me get a little bit more of that potato salad.
I do like that, but I mean I also like prefix because then I don't have to think about it. It's like already done.
It's also classier.
It is classier. That's what it was this weekend. I do like family style though, because you're right. If I don't really eat something and I eat more of another, or I need carb load and I want more potatoes or whatever, you can do that.
Okay, speaking of wedding tables, is this true? Is there always a bad table at a wedding?
Like you mean with all the people?
Yeah, you know that movie Table 19 with Anna Kendrick, my favorite actress.
We haven't brought up Anna Kendrick in a long time.
There's historically a bad table at a wedding where you kind of like put the off cast, maybe the people that did break up.
I think that's changed a bit because I think rounds are not as common anymore.
Yeah? I mean round tables, you mean?
Yeah, like the rounds are like eights, like rounds are tables of 8, and then I feel like now it's more long tables. Table. So like it's sometimes like 2 long tables or like what I don't know.
Is there a shafted zone then in the seating chart always?
Yeah, maybe.
The off
I
don't
know. I think it depends on the people. Like I think so my friends Anastasia and Diana did a great job where they mixed a lot of the tables. Like they put people that knew each other together, but they also went based off the vibes, being like, oh, these 2 people will get along. And I made all these new friends that night, which I really liked because I wasn't just sitting with my colleagues who I would just talk to the whole time.
You can't have just like a dead table.
No.
I think you need a table or you need a seating chart where every table or every zone of a long table has a chatty person.
Exactly.
Someone who's going to keep the vibe up. Someone who's great at jokes, someone who's going to be like, let's go dance.
Exactly.
That is an art form, actually.
It's like the art of the dinner party, but it's like one massive dinner party. So if you're really smart about it, this weekend it was the same thing. Like they were very smart about where they put people. So if someone didn't really know anybody, they were put with people that are outgoing and chatty or whatever. So then they'll all be welcoming.
On the other side, though, do you think that stresses out wedding guests? I know that like I feel like an introvert. I feel like both you and I would be fine with that and thrive in that situation. But I feel like introverts might be like, "Oop, you're gonna sit me across from my +1."
I guess that's. I don't know. I guess that's true because you sit across from them.
Yeah, and then you're bumping elbows with a stranger. Could be stressful.
I unfortunately, as someone that's not introverted, I can't speak.
I can't even think about that.
I can't even think about that.
I just want to throw him a bone, but I don't.
I like literally don't even think I spoke to Nolan like most of the wedding, and he was sitting directly across from me. I was just chatting up with people going around, whatever. So I don't know. So last time we played I Do or I Don't, and we are back. Round 2.
I'm ready.
Questions, hot takes. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Sarah. I do or I don't. The bride needs to pay for hair and makeup for the bridesmaids.
I do.
I'm going to say I do on that. I do or I don't. The groom is not involved in wedding planning at all. This is a wild one.
I don't. Wait, what? No, I don't. No, I don't agree with that statement.
I don't agree with that statement either. That's wild.
I do think they should be involved in wedding planning.
It is cringe as hell when someone's just like, we'll just do what the wife says. Yeah, it's like, do you not have opinions? Do you not have good conversations with your incoming partner?
When people
Maybe don't go through with the vows, my guy.
When people are like, I don't know, talking about wedding plan, they're like, oh, and then like he doesn't know this. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Also, that's such part of the fun of the experience, I think, is planning it with your partner, no?
Yeah, well, you'd think so. At least they want to be involved in like...
Now, granted, will we take... Maybe there was 10 options for something. We bring it down to 3 that you already approve of. And then like, I'm happy to play that game, but
I also think that there are it's up to the couples, obviously, and how they operate in their own relationship. But like, say if I was the groom, I want to pick out my own suit. And people are going far like, no, you're going to wear this, you're going to wear that.
No,
like,
that's stupid. Wild. That's bad. That's wild. Yeah. Also, like if you're marrying somebody that can't or is not interested in helping you plan a wedding, then maybe you should reevaluate that.
100%. Okay, I do or I don't weekday weddings. And Friday is included in this. I know it's cheaper for the venues and all the vendors, but it's cheaper for a reason. I don't
either. I just went to a Sunday wedding, but also Sundays are like a thing in religions
Saturday
too.
is the only, well, okay, religion aside, Saturday is
I've
the
been to a
only
few
day for a
Sunday
wedding.
weddings, but they've been on long weekends too. I've been to a few Sundays.
Oh, okay, I'll give you that. That counts as well.
So
It better be a good wedding though, because if I'm giving up a long weekend for it.
yeah, that's true. It's fair though. It's fair. Yeah, I personally don't. I think, look, as someone that loves to party plan, I think a lot of a wedding is about the guest experience, and you are already asking a lot of guests to come to something. So I think if you can afford to do it, you should be doing it on Saturday.
I want to anticipate it for the whole week leading up to it. I don't want to be stressing about what I'm not getting done.
Also, to me, it's more fun because you can do like a little thing on the Friday night, then you can do Saturday. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, it's more fun.
I do or I don't. You're invited to someone's wedding who you haven't really seen or spoken to in a year. Do you go?
Oh, if I haven't
You're invited to their wedding. Do you go?
If I haven't seen or spoken to in a year, no.
No? Depends on.
I was
I
was once invited to a wedding, and it was the same day that I was going to the Eras tour, and I said no to the wedding. But that was also because it was somebody that I wasn't super close with, and I was actually shocked I got invited, and I was like, "Wait, what? Sorry, I've had these tickets for like months."
If I was at one point close with them, but I haven't really spoken to them in the last year, I might.
It depends on the person. Again, that's circumstantial because, yeah, like one of my like close, like my dearest friends from growing up. She's getting married. I really see her like once, maybe twice a year. We like try to make a dinner work, but like even if we hadn't gotten dinner the past year, like I'm invited to her wedding, I'm still going.
Yeah,
you know. So I think it depends on the person and like if you've actually spoken to them at all.
100%. I do or I don't. Cricket for a wedding.
I do. There's so much fun stuff you can do with a cricket, and I would just say make sure if you are using a friend in their cricket, just be very grateful of the time that they are giving to you.
Last one, Sarah. I do or I don't get married at 18.
Is that what it's?
I just made that one up.
I don't. No marriage until your frontal lobe is developed. This was a great other wedding episode. If you guys have more questions or want us to do another one after all the wedding, how many weddings do you have this summer? Any? Or this year? 2. I've had 1. I have 2 more this year. And then I already have 6 next year, and another couple of my friends just got engaged. So that might be 7.
6?
I already have 6.
Damn.
Potentially 7 next year.
And if you're listening and you have a wedding coming up, it's in Toronto or it is relatively close, we'll come. Invite us.
And you want us to MC? We'll do that too. Yeah. Could you imagine?
We'll even pay for our own hair and makeup.
We will pay for our own hair and makeup. Well, can we bring the little like Talking Fast mic flashes though?
100%.
Thank you so much for listening. If you have any ideas or topics you want us to talk about, make sure you go to our Instagram page at Talking Fast Show. I've been Sarah. That's been Jacob. We're back, baby. I'll see you next week.